The last chance for political parties to make their mark as the final hours of campaigning get underway. Work to get a number of Kiwis out of Israel, and the All Blacks lineup is named for the team's quarter-final clash with Ireland. Kia ora, I'm Wilhelmina Shrimpton and these are your latest NZ Herald headlines. The organisers tasked with running tomorrow's general election are gearing up for a big day. The Electoral Commission says results will be released from 7 p.m, with the count starting for advanced votes from 9 a.m. Almost 1 million people have already cast their ballot in what's widely expected to be a close race to the finish line. Chief Electoral Officer Carl Lacane says the current numbers are above 2017 but below the COVID era of 2020.
It's running roughly at what we expected, but we're just focused on getting prepared for election day.
There's been some surprise at the number of shots fired by Chris Hipkins during last night's debate. The Labour leader accused Nationals leader of misleading New Zealanders by promising a free trade deal with India, which he says the Asian nation doesn't want. He also slammed Christopher Luxon as having no moral compass for plans to slash the welfare budget. Hipkins even brought up a National MP beating someone with a bed leg, referring to Sam Uffindell being expelled from boarding school. Israel says it's dropped around 6,000 bombs on the Gaza Strip since fighting with Hamas broke out on Saturday. The UN's World Food Programme says the situation in Gaza is dire, with food and water running out during the Israeli siege. The area is relying on generators after its only power station ran out of fuel, but Israel says its blockade will not end until hostages are released. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel and spoke to media.
You may be strong enough on your own to defend yourself, but as long as America exists, you will never ever have to. We will always be there by your side.
And it's not yet known exactly how many New Zealanders may be caught up in the conflict zone in Israel. The government is working to get an initial 90 people out of Tel Aviv in the coming days by partnering with Etihad Airways. Those who are able to flee the war-torn region by commercial flight are encouraged to do so urgently. Prime Minister Chris Hipkins says he understands there are between 10 to 20 people in Palestine areas and a few hundred in Israel.
That's based on registrations on the Safe Travel website. So, of course, there's likely to be more, and not everybody registers on the Safe Travel website.
To sport now, and the All Blacks have named their side to play Ireland in this weekend's Rugby World Cup quarter-finals. Head coach Ian Foster's made a raft of changes after resting a number of his top players in their final pool match against Uruguay last week. Cherie Kinnear reports from Paris.
Ian Foster has reverted to his strongest side with the likes of Adi Savia and Rico Ioane back. However, Mark Talea hasn't made the cut after being stood down due to disciplinary reasons. Cameron Wiggards missed out on a spot on the bench with Finlay Christie, instead getting the nod to back up starting halfback Aaron Smith.
And those are the latest NZ Herald headlines. For more news worth knowing, head to nzherald.co.nz.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with all the latest news from the New Zealand Herald, click the subscribe button below or check out one of the videos here, and head over to nzherald.co.nz for more details on these stories and more.